So I was talking to my cohort in crime, Brannon, and we were talking about. I remember when I brought him over and showed him that crazy spiral that Jason Reinhardt had done. We like got on it, and we were like, okay, let's get all the. We got all the tools, ran over to this studio that we did. We tried to do it exactly the way he told us, and it sucked so bad. It was just absolutely awful. The exposures were terrible. The fluidity, the motion of it. So I just want to encourage everybody to give yourself permission to suck up front and do it bad first, because that's the way you learn how to like express your own point of view, your own brushstrokes. You know, you could give 5 artists the same paint, the same brush, and the same canvas, and really true artists. Every single painting is going to be another universe altogether. So I'd love to see where my own explorations go and my own storytelling develops with it, and love to share with you as well, and see what you're coming up with in the creative mind later.
Nice. Welcome to the pool journey. It is Monday again, Brian. Here we are, you and I together again.
Yeah. So this show's gonna suck. So anybody that wants to bail already, man, go ahead.
This show is not going to suck. We had some technical difficulties at the beginning of the
It's
show.
already sucked. I'm giving myself absolute permission to suck. So
Yes. All right. Well, there's definitely permission granted to suck. That was a good
I need
piece.
some music, man. I want some music. We got any music in there? Can we play some music?
We could actually. There is some music. Let's see. There is Daydreaming into Space, Lo-Fi, Night Driving. Any of those dance pop?
What is all that?
These are just music tracks.
Okay. Well, I wasn't looking for just random music. I was looking for, okay, let's just get going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you all right, man? Are you feeling all right?
No, I'm really not. I'm really fucked up. I'm having a really shitty, awful, fucking terrible fucking day. Everything I tried to do today, it sucked ass. It's been like fighting shit since the moment I got up, and I'm in an awful, shitty mood.
I had no idea. You didn't even say. I was like, "How you doing?"
I ain't that out on anybody, man. But sometimes it comes in balls to the top.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm here. We're here. We're here together. We could get through this. Celestial is here. She says, "Oh no, Brian. It's all good, man. It's all good. We're here."
Good. Well, and whatever I say about the stupid fucking card tonight that nobody gives a shit about, we're gonna do a massive grounding, because my energy sucks. I hate everyone I talked to today said, man, April just was an ass of a month. It's like, so we're gonna start with a massive. We're not gonna start with that. We're gonna talk about the stupid fucking card first, and then we're going to do a massive grounding and cleansing and charge up. And I've talked Leah into letting me abscond with her set of crystal bowls.
Nice.
And I have those set up, and we're gonna blast into that. And if there's anything that any time left over, we'll do some readings. And I'd like to throw it out to Jilly. Hey, good to see you, Jilly. Celestial, always a treat. Thank you guys very much. I love seeing you guys.
We both love you. We both. And they love us, and they love you.
And if there's anybody out there that wants to has an issue that they'd like to have a reading on, I'd love to offer that up. I've been pretty hot today. That's one thing I haven't sucked on so far. So
Okay.
um,
There
yeah,
you go.
that'd be really, really fun. And big props out to my friend Rick, who always is lurking around in the background. I think I sent you some images of him that he and I've been friends for a long time, and
Yeah.
he wound up paying me many visits to the Magic Garden in Coconut Grove. And the last time he was there, I got to do some really pretty fun light painting
You want me
examples with him.
you
Yeah,
want me to pop
I
that
think
up?
you really do that. And on the 11th, coming up on the 11th, is my brother's birthday. So happy
Nice.
birthday to you and the fam, and many,
Nice.
many,
All right.
many, many, many more years of torturing each other. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the other one is my favorite. Well, there's a couple other ones actually.
So good. So I mean, I could look at this one for like 20 minutes before I even move on to the next one. But let's
They're really
do.
fun. This is a really great example of, like, I'm always talking about how you can make this light painting really simulate energy. And
It's really amazing, and it's really your signature. I mean, it's like there's so many people out there doing light painting and doing one of these techniques or some of these techniques, but you're combining it into your own art form. You know what I mean? It's always been that way. You've always
well,
had
this
these.
this didn't get led by other people's tutorials and the things that they were doing.
Right.
It led me by, like, trying to find a way to express what energy looked like to me. And,
Yeah.
like, the more
Yeah.
I dove in, the more that.
Well, that's what I love about those old videos that you did, because you could see the tools that you're using. They're not the tools that everyone buys. You know what I mean? They're the tools that you made and built and experiment. I'm
And,
sure those are not the first versions.
and by the way, talk about sucking. That white spiral thing that was in that video.
Yeah.
Brandon and I was like, so yeah, we made the tubes, had all the tubes all set up. Well, that whole thing of spinning around on keeping your foot on a specific dot and, like, keeping it smooth and that's no easy feat, man. Jason Lightheart made it look really amazing and easy, and out on this, like, dark, like, Blue Ridge Mountain street somewhere. And
Right.
it was a really magical thing. And it was so funny to see. We've both laughed over the years many times looking back on that image, just going out. If you're going to, like, live Permission to Suck, that was a perfect example of that.
That's awesome. So,
Yeah,
so
funny.
are you willing to, as a wizard, are you willing to talk about the technical aspect of this? How this was captured? Is this captured in camera like this?
Well, I mean, it's just like all light paintings. Well, I do a flash to freeze it,
Okay.
and then you just paint around it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's
But
what I was.
there's really nothing. There's really nothing, like, special or crazy, or just a bunch of little tubes, colored tubes, and
Sure.
a
Sure.
flashlight.
But even I mean, as a photographer, even the way you've got the strobe lighting him, you know what I mean? Like, it isn't just like a portrait boom full. You've got like some dramatic lighting going on there. He's kind of like lit from it's like a highlight on his leg there. Like.
Exactly.
That's a nicely lit flash, right? A nicely
It
lit.
really is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
And
the way I shot for 30
it's
years.
awesome, dude. It's beautiful.
Groves,
I've always been in awe of your work. I mean, all the different mediums that you do, the watercolor stuff that you showed us at one point, like, and even all of the different, I guess they're not different mediums, but the different approaches to light painting that you have, they're not all the same, and they all have their own qualities, and
They really do.
so.
Our guest last week, Frankie, really had a good time having her on. We'll probably have her back.
Yeah,
Anyway,
she was awesome. Yeah,
I'm going to get together with her tomorrow. We're going to go, like, show some of the light painting stuff to those gallery people that she knows. And
amazing.
it was really fun putting the piece together and kind of, like, seeing these different genres, these different sections. Like, I've used Fiona for so much stuff, dude.
Right.
And that has wound up being like this, your live-in model to be able to experiment whenever you want at 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh yeah, let's go shoot.
Yeah. great.
Those wheel constructs, love those.
Listen, you're certainly a master. There's one more here, and
Yeah, that was fun too.
that one looks cool too. I love it. I love it. But
So I'm
really,
working on a music video with the images that I put together for Frankie's piece, and hopefully I'll have that done for next week. I'd love to share it with you guys. It'd be
awesome.
really cool.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. I can't wait to see it, man. It's awesome. It's really good.
All right. So let's get on into the cards this week.
Okay. I'm ready to go.
We're dealing with the Prince of Wands. Prince of
Yes.
Wands is a really interesting character, again, fire. So, you automatically, kind of associate energy with him, and, youthful energy, especially youthful energy that is on the explorer, out looking for what life is. You associate that a lot with kind of not really crazy behavior, and doing unexpected stuff and kind of loose cannon kind of behavior. That's not really the case with this guy. He does whatever he wants. He doesn't really check it out. Makes a great leader, youthful, young, and hasn't got a ton of experience. But what he lacks in experience, he makes up for in cunning and the energy to drive his ideas really hard. And not a super group person. He leads more than he involves himself with groups. And some would call him secretive. As a matter of fact, I think that's one of the words, the keywords on that card.
Yeah, the words are swift, strong, hasty, rather violent, a dark young man.
Well, he can be
and yet just and generous, cruel and intolerant. Now I'm looking at this image, and again, it's like it changes as I'm looking at it, because initially I saw like almost like a shoulder and head portrait of this fiery prince, but now I can see all sorts of figures now that I brought it up close.
There's a lot of levels to these. And the
Yeah.
things I like the most about it is that you do, like, if you look at the bottom of the card and you see this kind of like dark sort of shoulders and neck coming up, and then
Yeah,
this,
that's what I was
coming up out of the crown on top of that head is this whole nother person, and this other person that then becomes, and the energy kind of like boiling up from that and swirling around that to create.
Oh wow, yeah. Now I can almost even see like it's like a fractal of the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there are so many layers with that. And the cool thing that I love to do with these cards is to blow them up really big. Like when they get really big, you get detail down in there that you just don't get out here. And then when you shrink them down like that, the darks and the contrast between the whites and the really dark parts of it outline these kind of really crazy images like it's happening here.
Yeah, really, really amazing. That this would be, so as you were saying that, and you were talking about Frankie setting up a gallery show for you, I was just picturing up a hallway with all of these really big and huge lining the hallway. As you walk down the hallway, it'd be phenomenal.
That was kind of my dream when I was putting together all of those music videos, is to have kind of like an immersive event where you're like, you're seeing videos of music, and you're experiencing that as you're experiencing the cards. Big, my friend Ray at Moksha, that has Moksha Gallery, he's got a virtual 3D, like, a whole virtual gallery, and they're hanging in there, and that's a cool world. But I'd love to see them live, man.
There was an amazing installation kind of / experience I went to a few years back in New York City called Zero Space, and it was a bunch of light and video based art installation projects combined with a storyline of so the storyline was that this portal opened up in New York City from another dimension, right in the middle of New York City, and these beings came through and they made a deal with some humans. So there's some humans in the storyline that are kind of guiding you through, and there's these beings from this other dimension, and they built this portal to observe how humans would interact with it. So basically they were like walking around and they were like what's the word, voiceless, they didn't speak, and it was so fucking cool, dude. It was, let's just, the art installations were amazing, and the whole performance aspect was amazing, because at one point they all gathered and like these things were happening, and it actually, part of the experience was, how they do these exercises at corporate gatherings, that they try to, like, get a group ethic going.
Yeah.
They would pair you up with other visitors to the exhibition that you didn't know, strangers, and like make you do some of these interesting exercises. It was really cool. Anyway, I'm getting on a big tangent here, but it's just amazing, like this kind of art, your art here, how that can even be the root of these things. You can create these magical experiences all around the concept of what we were even looking at. It's just,
that's really true.
it's
So
awesome.
before we get off of that card, can we go back to that for
Oh
just
yeah, yeah. We have this. I'm sorry.
and let's go down to the lower left hand corner of that card.
Okay.
And there are two symbols down there at the very far left.
Uh-huh.
There's a 4 mark symbol, that the one that's, you have your cursor, the top one.
Uh-huh.
That is an Odu of Ifa. It's called an Odu Megiodu. It's one of the 16 mother symbols of that whole African diaspora. And those marks that you're seeing right there are made with seeds, a chain of seeds with 4 seeds on each side, and the chain is thrown. And depending on how the side is up, it's either a 0 or a 1. So within the context of those, the options, or the number of possible outcomes in life is 256. Right. Yeah. So I didn't do, needless to say, the whole 256 Odus, would touch me years to get through. But just even using the 16 Mother Megiodu are really, really crazy. Can you bring up the I sent some pages out of the manual.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd like to bring up let's take a look at the runes. Let's take a look at the Megiodus.
Okay, hold on. Runes, here we go.
So, we talked about this last week, and one of the cool things about using the court cards is that they've been attached to, when I talk about the other divination systems, this is really where those come into play. And runes are on the 16, they're pretty self-explanatory. So, whatever symbol, runic symbol comes up, you've got this as a little, these are so like just idea starters, to get you going,
Right.
Each of these systems is like super deep. The Ifa Odus, I mean, it takes you years and years and years and years to get through all of those. But like, even on the surface of them, they're really wonderfully coolly connected. And okay, let's take a look at the next one. There's 2. There should be 2 things of runes.
2 things of runes. Oh, okay. Let me see. Oh yeah. Here's the second one.
Yeah, so that's the second page of that.
Right. This is all part of the manual, right?
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So these
are pages blown up that are out of the
manual. Yeah. So because I'm like, I think I've seen I've read this before.
Yeah, you have. But the manual is so small that it's kind of cool to like give it a
no, this is cool. These would make cool posters, I think, too, like.
Okay, let's move on to the next one.
Yeah. Let's see, I guess they're probably in order. Oh, no, that's the one we just saw. This is, I don't know what.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. Okay, now this is a system called geomancy, and there's a lot of different ways of doing this. This is really comes from Arabic, the Arabic history, right? And this is achieved by you can throw dirt. It was originally done in the sand, and that's why it's called geomancy. And it's a fairly complex system of like drawing out squares on the ground and throwing rocks and different things to get those. It's like anything like throwing rocks for doing runes or coins for I Ching, or the yarrow sticks for I Ching.
Wow.
So this is a really cool way. And what I love about this is that the tarot is really kind of a Western European kind of construct, although it does have its roots that go way back to Egypt. But it's really kind of like one of the hallmarks of Western magical practice.
Really?
So you have that kind of strain, and then you've got the runes that are really ancient Germanic and a whole different strain than those, right? And then you have geomancy, which is an Arabic thing, and like that's a whole Middle East on the whole other side of the world.
Right.
And then you've got Ifa Oduts, which like most of the eastern or the western coast of Africa, like Nigeria is kind of the home of that. Ile-Ife is sort of like the capital of where that actually comes from, and that's spread all through Western Africa. So you've got 4 completely different cultural ways to look at these,
Right.
So
Interesting.
you can use the cards. Like if you like to use the court card in your reading and read the court card, you can just look right on that symbol, look that symbol up, and that adds a whole nother thing. Or you
other dimension.
You can remove all 16 of the court cards and use those as its own separate little thing. There's a bunch of ways of flooring the cards up and see which ones land up.
Right.
A lot of different systems for utilizing that. So would really like to encourage you to take a look at some of those and get a flavor. I know, Jilly, you'd like it. You love the different flavors. So here's some
these are, and you know what? It's like this one, not so much the runes, maybe the runes a little bit, but geomancy, you said it was pronounced?
Yeah.
The geomancy, and this one, how do you pronounce this one?
These are Ifa Meiji Odus.
Ifa Meiji Odus.
Yeah, twins.
See that both of this one and the geomancy, they remind me of like almost like ancient games, like you're saying, like games where you would throw rocks or stones, and then
doesn't it remind you of computer code?
Well, as that as well. That was what I was going to say next as well. It's also got this kind of technological aspect to it,
It really does. And we got off of the 10 the other day without really talking about that, but 1 and 0, I mean, those are that's the binary code that
of course yeah it's going back. It's crazy. So all right, so do you want me to go to the sigils and planetary squares, or
let's talk about that quickly, although this does not have so much to do with the court cards, but this is kind of like a core divination system, as you guys have seen over the course of this, numerology and taking and shredding things by numbers and like discovering frequencies through that method has proven such a useful tool to me over the years. It's like an integral part of that. So that's a real and using those numbers and being able to like manipulate that system. And go on to the next page, if you would, in the central section.
I believe this is it.
Yeah. So using those planetary squares that are on a number of the major arcana cards, you're able to access each one of those planetary things. You get a reading out of this. You like want to change one of the cards. We've talked about that many times. You want to change one of the things about the reading and change the outcome. One of the best ways to do that really quickly, especially in the midst of being in the energy, is to use this system of making a sigil and condensing that energy and that effect and using the wave that's already existing to maximize that. I'm about ergonomics, man, and not wasting, and taking advantage of what has already been created and
Right.
amplifying that rather than starting over from scratch,
Right.
trying to start a new
Right.
layer. So
Yeah,
sigils
man.
are amazing, and as is the numerology. So
Yeah.
there's the runes, there's numerology, there's Ifa Udus, and geomancy.
Yeah.
So great way to be able to shred pretty much.
Yeah. That
I
no,
don't
it's
think we
amazing.
could ever run out of options to work this, so
Right.
it's kind of fun.
I'm always amazed. Like I have a couple of friends like you who can see sentences and words and then just like immediately like pull the numbers out. It's like they're seeing them without having to even think of it. It's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Well, it's like reading music.
Yeah.
When you read
Yeah.
music long enough, those little dots and lines like
You,
have sounds and mean things, and
you
like,
you hear it in your head as you're reading it, and you don't even have to. Yeah, that's great.
yeah.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. So the only other one I think I have is the Prince card. The Prince
Yeah, we don't need to really go
of
through that
Cups.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, we're looking at the princes. All of the princes are pretty intense. Needless to say, the Prince of Cups, pretty intense emotionally. The Prince of Swords, like, wow, really analytical and kind of a crafty, conniving little bastard when he wants to be, man. Like a lot of subterfuge and intrigue and that kind of stuff. So I find him kind of interesting. And, as much as the Prince of Wands can be a really good guy, he's a dramatic little bastard. And if you piss him off and make him very mad, then he will react in a very intense and sometimes over the top kind of way in relation to how intense the situation actually is.
Mhm.
I,
So let me ask you a question from the way you're speaking. Sometimes do the cards uh, represent situations and relationships with other people? Like the card will represent a situation with somebody specific, or
well, that's why I don't use the court cards when they come up in the reading.
Mhm.
I don't use them as the determining factor of that part of the reading. I pull another card and put that over the top of that court card because the court card sort of defines the
right. You
person,
were saying that last time.
nature of the person, and then the additional card on top of that kind of defines the role that they will play in this specific.
Interesting. Gotcha. Okay, so that's all right. That's why I wanted to ask you that question.
Yeah, and really, I found over the years that it's like it really does help clarify. It's not just that these people are going to be involved; it's how are those people going to be
Right.
involved, and that's really, really useful information.
Awesome. So just to get a visual on some of the last two princes. I think what was the word you said that was not on the other one? Not suspicious, because I see suspicious. There was a word you were looking for, but I don't think it was there. Secretive.
What's that for the Prince of Swords?
For the Prince of Wands, one of the words you were saying wasn't exact to what was on the card, but it was.
What, the whole secretive part of it?
No, I don't remember. We were talking about that. We were talking about the Prince of Wands, swift, strong, hasty, rather violent. You were asking about a specific word, but it didn't show up there. I'm thinking maybe it was suspicious, but I don't think that's applies with the Prince of Wands. So
yeah, so the major arcana cards, although they do really represent kind of archetypes of people, they really represent situations. And the rest of the minor arcana, the numbered cards, they really represent situations to me. These really represent people, and that's a really interesting aspect of this. And at some point, we'll talk about using a significator as well. Have you ever heard of what a significator is?
Nope, first time I'm hearing that.
Yeah, that was really in vogue to use when I first started reading, and my teacher had me read like that for a long time. And his significator for me was the Prince of Cups, or the King of Cups. So what you would do is you would shuffle the deck. That card is the card that you're using to represent the person that you're reading for. And after you get through shuffling, you go through the deck to find where that card is in the deck. and set that part of the deck aside, and then you start reading with the rest of the deck. Like that kind of defines where the
Oh,
cut.
that's interesting.
Yeah, and
Huh.
some of the like the Celtic cross layouts where you'll see like that's one of the most famous layouts, right?
Mhm.
You'll see like the first card for a lot of readers will be the significator, like that will go in the center of the reading, and then there'll be cards that get laid over that, and then you start going around and then the final like row of the sides.
Mm.
So that kind of plays a role in it as well. But for me personally, I've kind of like not really been using that much of late because it seems to be an extra step that I'm not sure I really needed. But I'd love to encourage, try them out. It's like
Interesting. Yeah.
the flavor. So this is the cups, right?
Yeah.
And, yeah, so super emotional, super intense, super like wears a lot of their feelings on their sleeves, have not learned to manage the degree of emotional response that they have to situations, and that's one of those modes that just comes with age and experience and doing it and permission to suck, screwing it up over and over and over again.
See that? There was a reason I played that one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then the Prince of Swords and his crafty and conniving, and he can be really, really system oriented and fact oriented, and as much as the Prince of Cups is an emotional being, he's really kind of devoid of that.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the Prince of
Discs, Pentacles.
Pentacles, yeah, he's the guy that makes things happen, but he's still young, so he makes some things happen too fast, and he hasn't learned the art of discernment yet. But a really good guy to have on your side and have in your corner, and people really respond and like him as a person. He is not he's a considerate ruler and not a despot in any way, shape, or form. So awesome. So, any other questions about the Prince of Wands, or any of the other cards?
No, I'm just looking at this card. I saw some things in there, and I was just trying to like work them out. I saw like this Anubis kind of head here, and like here's the shoulders. And then I saw some other things that started changing as I was looking at it. So
that's kind of the nature of these. It's the beauty of it.
Amazing,
It's like you get a grasp on it and it moves just like the
I
astro.
love it. Exactly. That's exactly what happened. I love it.
Like the astro. Yeah.
And Julie's saying she loves the elemental layout. Yeah, and you know what? Honestly, this is exactly what started us on this journey. I think, and even pointed us here was initially my conversation with you about, oh yeah, I do some cool artwork, I want to make a cool tarot deck too, and you were like, oh yeah, let me tell you what goes into a tarot deck. And now it's like we've been on this journey together, and man, it's like
it's a big journey.
There's still layers I haven't even seen.
Like so many, you've just scratched the surface, Grasshopper.
Yeah. And I know it. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited. No, I'm excited. It's awesome. It's awesome. And kudos to you on again such an amazing body of work over your lifetime. Even when you were the little grasshopper, you were doing some amazing work.
Well, thank you.
Yes. So what do we got going? I think the camera is not on with the crystal ball.
This camera thing is just being a real pain. Pick a music video, one of my music videos. Let's play that, and I'll get the camera back together, and we'll go into a grounding and then do some music, some balls.
All right, let me take a quick look while we're together here. Let me take a quick look at what is not too long and not too short, so we'll give us some time to work out the kinks. Can you see the cameras behind the stage? Will you see? Oh, you'll know when it connects what it looks like, right? Yeah, you'll know what it looks like. What were we talking about before? Invictus. I've got the raindrops falling. I've got I wanted to play. Did I play Taro that time? The Taro video.
You have, but that's always a good one.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see if I can play that one. I like that one. That's just like a good overview of everything. So I'm gonna play a video file, guys. Enjoy this Taro. And where the heck is it? I think that it's right here. We're both muted. I was muted.
You know, yeah.
And now we're not muted. Oh, I love watching that stuff. Sorry, did you guys were watching me and just like I was no audio. Yeah, I see Joey, no audio. I got the audio back. So we're trying to get this camera working Wizard's iPhone, but
You know, I'm gonna figure something else out. We're gonna do the grounding, and then I'm gonna take this laptop and we'll put it down low. And
we could do that. That works.
Yeah.
All right. So let's ground.
Oh,
How do we
dude,
ground?
man, like, oh my God. All right. First thing. Okay. We're going to take 3 really deep breaths. And with each breath on the intake of it, fill your lungs up. And with each outtake, you're going to like divest yourself of anything you're thinking about right now. And the point of this is to try to get us as close to just zero space as possible. So we're going to start with those 3 breaths. Let go more every time. Just kind of quiet the noise, all the screaming banshees. One more. All right. Now, this is where that exercise of working with your internal energy and accessing that energy comes into play. We're going to take our energy and focus before we do anything. We're going to take our energy and make our aura bright. So close your eyes and imagine your light there, and that you have a dimmer switch somewhere that you're turning up. And with each breath that you're taking in, you're turning up the switch, and you're just doing that over wave after wave. And your aura, your light is getting brighter every single time. Ooh, yeah. We're just going to light up all of those bands so that when we go out to clean them out, we can get a good handle on them. We can see them with our astral eyes. Get it nice and bright, nice and bright. There we go. All right. Now, we're going to deal with the first 4 bands of our aura. And we're going to reach out to the 4th band. You would think you would start inside, but we're going to go out to the 4th band, which is the energy interface between the rest of the astral and our actual body and physical body. And that's where a lot of negativity that people send us, stuff that we brush by, just negative energy happening in the world, that's where a lot of that attaches, and that's where it comes through first. So that's the first place I'd like to attack. And we're going to just imagine about 5.5 feet out, all the way around in a circle, there's this band of electric energy. And it's crackly, and you're out there grabbing a hold of it. And with your attention and intent, we're going to take our own personal energy and we're going to rake it down through that sphere. And we're going to just take that whole band of energy and push through it with our own energy and clean that. And my command to that is I ground any negative energy of any kind, of my own construction or anyone else's, in this frequency or in any other frequency. And when you really get it lit up and you're inside and you can start to sense that yourself, you can start to see where things have attached. Like I got some goo over here on the left. Just pull that down. And I like to go inside my body and imagine, like, that Coke bottle thing. Like, it's just like this pressurized bottle that all of a sudden you stick a screwdriver or something in the bottom, you create a hole, and it's pushing out under pressure. And you're just starting at the top of your head, just grounding all of any negative energy that's attached to you. All the way down into the earth. Perfect recycling plant. All right. We're going to address the third band where all of that unresolved programmed energy is dwelling, and any kind of like weird talk and gossip, that kind of scenario. So we're going to ground any of the unused patterned energy in the third band. All that stuff you started and didn't complete. Touch it right down the bottom. Pay special attention up around your temples. All right, we're going to go to the second band. That's the emotional band. That's where all the gooky stuff lives, man. And that's about like 18 to 24 inches out if you're healthy. If you're just kind of in normal zone, if you're really super ramped, it could go way past that. If you're really like withdrawn in, it could shrink. But 18, 24 inches, it's going to really be kind of like, it's not like an egg, like a perfect shaped egg. You've got a lot of stuff that happens around the top of your head and then around the solar plexus and your heart chakra. So we're going to take any emotional goo. We're going to ground any emotional goo of any kind, of our own construction or anyone else's, in this frequency or any other frequency. You want to push really hard. Anger, fear, pain, sadness, grief, paranoia. Fear in all its forms. Fear in all its forms. Fear in all its forms. And last but not least, we're going to go to the band just outside of the confines of our body, about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, our first band, our earth band. That's the interface between our astral bands and the energy world and our actual physical body. So we are going to ground anything that is a blockage to our success in any way, shape, or form in our plans in the world. We're going to ground anything that is a hazard to our health, a manifested health risk. Any financial difficulties, any blockages to the free flow of our money and support. And any negative, difficult situations in the real material world that need addressing. We'll find immediate solutions. I ground any negative energy of any kind. I ground any unused patterned energy, gossip of any kind. I ground any negative emotional goo of any kind, fear of all kinds. And I ground any negative real world blockages to impeding my flow of energy. All right, now we've got all this room. We're going to pull down into the earth, like right where the molten center of the earth is spinning. And it's the friction and the spinning of that against the mantle where it becomes solid that creates this intense layer of really pure, really beautiful blue creative potential energy. That's the energy that swoops out, that moves out through the surface of the earth and forms ley lines and all that other. That's the source of all of that. So that's also the place where energy has yet to be tainted by human involvement. So reach deep. Imagine your feet have giganto straws and they go all the way down to that part of the earth. And with each intake breath, you're pulling up this crackly blue, like turbocharged electric potential creative energy. And you're filling your solar plexus up, and you're filling your solar plexus up. And it's spilling into the rest of your body, and you're filling that up. Each breath, you're just flowing and you're flowing. Oh man, you could just, oh dude, I got goosebumps on my goosebumps. On my goosebumps. Wow. All right, just keep pulling that energy up, that crackly blue energy, until you get goosebumps. That's always when I know I'm good. So just hang with that for a few more minutes.
Ooh. Oh. Nice. What's up, Jessica Kalushkin? All right, I'm gonna probably mute.
Here we go. Down low, going back high.
Oh, I was muted again. Very nice, very nice. I was responding, but you couldn't hear me because I was muted. I had muted myself, so I didn't get feedback.
No worries.
Very nice. You must love having those.
You know, I've had bulls in my life for about 30 years now. Yeah. The big ones that were in the back are mine. They were part of a 15 bull set that
Right.
they're warriors. They've been to Death Valley and Mount Shasta, and like they've been all over the country.
Nice, nice. That's awesome when you travel and you bring them and you make magic in sacred places. That's very cool.
Exactly.
I love that.
Anyway, I hope the grounding worked out good. And like,
yeah, no, I feel good. I was moving some light and energy around for sure. You know, and nice and relaxed. And I hope it was good for you, man. I'm, you know.
Yeah, I've got a good charge up, man. It's good.
Okay, good.
Can't keep a good wizard down.
What's that?
Can't keep a good wizard down.
Can't keep a good wizard down. Awesome. All right. Well, I guess. Oh wow! I didn't even realize that the hour was up, but it looks like it is time to sign off. Julie says always a nice grounding. So yeah, I appreciate it. I think for me, even the most basic practice of meditating, like actually meditating with like a group and like going somewhere, not just relaxing and like focusing on my own breath and just doing it by myself, kind of half-assed, I guess. But really like focusing that energy, you know, I dig it. So I like it when we do that. So I appreciate it.
Well, next week will be the Queen of Wands. She's a fiery one.
All right. Awesome. Queen of Wands coming next week. I look forward to it. Oh, by the way, for those of you, I didn't put this comment. I'm going to put it into the comments so you can copy and paste it. But it's the link that is going across the bottom of the screen there. That is Brian's 138 Hertz album that he made with Brennan and Brennan, yeah. Brennan, yeah. And it is actually on Pandora. So I actually clicked on it before we started and I had to listen to an ad, but now the ad is over and I'm going to go listen to it. And
love to know what you think. That'd be great.
You guys can see it. Yeah, I'm excited. And I guess we will see everybody next week. Brian, I will see you next week. And have a good one. I'll talk to you later.
Good to see everybody later.